What would you do if the people who raised you turned your trust into a battlefield? I'm Emily, and this is the story of how I reclaimed my heart and my future from the weight of family betrayal. I grew up in a small house on the edge of town, where the walls seemed to hold more secrets than love. By 25, I'd carved out a life of my own. I worked as a graphic designer, saving every penny from freelance gigs to build something stably a future mom always said she wanted for me. I'd visit her every Sunday, bringing groceries or helping with bills when I could. She'd smile, call me her good girl, and we'd laugh over old photos. I thought we were a team, bound by years of shared struggle. Then came the day that shattered everything. I'd saved $12,000 for a down payment on a small apartment, a dream I'd nursed since high school. I told Mom during one of our Sunday dinners, expecting her to beam with pride. Instead, her eyes flickered with something I couldn't place. The next week, I checked my savings account and felt my stomach drop. $10,000 was gone. A transfer I didn't authorize, straight to Mom's account. I confronted her, my voice trembling. Mom, what happened to my money? She sat at the kitchen table, avoiding my gaze. Emily, it's only fair, she said. Your father barely paid anything all those years. I raised you alone. That money, it's what I deserve for keeping us going. Her words hit like a slap. Fairness? I'd spent years helping her, loving her, believing we were in this together. Now, she'd taken my future and called it justice. I left her house that night, my heart a tangle of anger and grief. I couldn't sleep, replaying her words, the betrayal cutting deeper each time. Part of me wanted to scream, to demand the money back, but another part, the part that still loved her, knew it wouldn't heal the wound. I needed to do something bigger, something that would set me free without destroying what was left of us. The next morning, I sat down with a notebook and a plan. I wasn't going to fight Mom in court. I couldn't bear the thought of dragging our pain into public. Instead, I wrote her a letter. I poured out everything, how her sacrifice had shaped me, how Dad's absence had hurt us both, but how taking my savings felt like stealing my dreams. I told her I forgave her, not because it was easy, but because I refused to let bitterness define me. Then, I made a choice that changed everything. I called a lawyer not to sue, but to protect myself. I set up a new account, one Mom couldn't touch, and moved the remaining $2,000 there. Then, I took a second job, designing logos at night to rebuild what I'd lost. It was grueling, but every dollar I earned felt like a step toward freedom. I stopped visiting Mom every Sunday, not out of spite, but because I needed space to heal. When I mailed her the letter, I included a check for $500, not as repayment, but as a gesture. I wanted her to know I still cared, even if I couldn't trust her the same way. Months passed, and I saved enough to make that down payment. The day I signed the papers for my apartment, I stood in the empty space, sunlight streaming through the windows, and cried. Not for the money, but for the girl who'd believed family meant sacrifice without betrayal. I'd built this without Mom, without Dad, and that was enough. Mom called me a few weeks later. Her voice was soft, broken. I read your letter, she said. I'm sorry, Emily. I was wrong. I didn't know if I could fully forgive her, but I listened. She was trying, and maybe that was a start. I invited her to see the apartment, and when she walked in, her eyes welled up. You did this, she whispered. I nodded, and for the first time in months, we hugged. I don't know if our bond will ever be what it was, but I learned something vital. Family isn't just about what you give, it's about what you protect. I protected my heart, my future, and in doing so, I found a strength I didn't know I had. Sometimes, fairness isn't about balancing scales. It's about choosing who you'll become when the scales tip against you.